Hello everybody, hope all of you are well. And in my last class, I discussed up to the limitation of octet rule. So to overcome the limitation of octet rule, a new theory came, that is valence bond theory. And today we will discuss the valence bond theory from chemical bond. So this one is valence bond theory. So this is mainly based on the orbital overlap concept. Every atom has a tendency to pair up its unpaired electrons, and half-filled atomic orbitals of the two atoms come in proper alignment and proceed towards one another for overlap. And overlapping of atomic orbitals of two atoms give rise to a molecular orbital or covalent bond of less energy than atomic orbitals. Now, greater the overlapping of atomic orbitals, stronger is the bond formation. Now, molecular orbitals may be two types, or overlap may be two types. There may be head-on overlap, there may be side-on overlap. And based on this, there may be two types of bonds. One is called sigma bond, another is called pi bond. Sigma bond is formed by the head-on overlap of half-filled atomic orbitals along the internucleus axis. If we draw one s orbital, this one is one s orbital, this is a symmetry, and this one is another s orbital. When they will overlap, there is no directional, it is non-directional. So always there will be head-on overlap. S orbital will not form any pi bond, no lateral overlap. So this overlap is called S-S overlap, and because of this overlap, sigma bond is formed. If we consider the overlap between an S and P orbital, then this positive symmetry of S orbital will overlap with this positive symmetry of this P orbital, and there will be one sp overlap, and this will also axial overlap along the internucleus axis, and this will also form sigma bond, and another overlap will be there, that is called pp overlap. Here also this one is plus plus minus minus. This is also head-on overlap. This pp overlap leads to the formation of sigma bond. Okay, so in this way, by head-on overlap, there will be formation of sigma bond. This is one kind of bond. Okay, covalent bond. And pi bond is generally formed by the sideway overlap of half-filled atomic orbitals in a direction perpendicular to the internucleus axis. And one thing you have to keep in mind, that sigma bond is stronger than pi bond, and pi bond is weaker because the extent of overlap of the atomic orbital is very small. If we show you, then you can easily understand what is pi overlap. So this is one p orbital, another p orbital will come sideways with the same symmetry in the same side, and there will be one overlap. This is the sideway overlap, and because of this overlap, there will be formation of pi orbital. So one is called sigma orbital. Okay, here when there is head-on overlap, and here pi overlap. Because of the weak overlap, okay, or the overlap region is very small, that is why pi bond is generally weak. And finally, you will get, if this is the internuclear axis, above we will get one electron cloud, that will be plus, and below there will be one electron cloud, pi electron cloud, that will be minus. Hope you can understand. Again, I am telling this plus minus is indicating the symmetry of the wave. We know that Electrons are nothing but wave. So this is the plus symmetry and this is the minus symmetry. Now by using this VVT approach, we can show you orbital interaction already shown in case of hydrogen. So 2s orbital of hydrogen 1s and 1s will overlap and will form, that is this one hydrogen and hydrogen, that is forming that hydrogen molecule. Okay. Now if we want to write their electronic configuration, then you can easily understand this thing, that hydrogen having one electron, this one is called 1s1. Another hydrogen with the opposite spin will come, this is also 1s1. So these two will combine and there will be formation of a sigma bond. Okay, so these will combine, one I am showing in this way and another is in this way, and finally you will get the hydrogen bond. So only one bond is present in hydrogen molecule, so this one is the hydrogen molecule. Okay, hydrogen molecule. So in this way, by valence bond theory, we can show you this type of interaction of electron and forming the molecule. Now if we draw the formation of oxygen molecule, then you can easily understand. So oxygen molecule, you know that oxygen molecule electronic configuration is 1s2. There will be 2 electrons. Okay, 2s there is also 2 electrons, and in 2p there will be 4 electrons. This one is 2. Another oxygen will come. This will also having the same. And here these 2p having the opposite spin, the last 2p orbital. So these two will combine and there will be formation of oxygen molecule like this. Okay. Now in this oxygen molecule there is no unpaired electron. So this is also paired. So you cannot explain the paramagnetic nature of the oxygen molecule. Okay. So to overcome this thing, we have to discuss another concept, and this concept discussion is required before anything discussion. Okay, in this chemical bonding, and this concept is nothing but hybridization theory. Okay, this is called hybridization. If we have the concept of hybridization, then we have the concept of the shape of the molecule. Then the other theory we can explain very easily. That is why I am discussing the hybridization first. Actually, here in the valence bond theory, the covalent bond is formed by the overlap of the atomic orbital. But this theory fails to explain the formation of the molecule like water, methane, ammonia, etc. Okay. A new concept is called hybridization. Came and it was introduced to explain the bonding of this type of molecule like methane, like water, like ammonia. Okay. Now what is hybridization? Hybridization is nothing but, you can understand the mixing of character in biology. Here also mixing of orbital. So hybridization may be defined as the intermixing of atomic orbital of the same atom having the same or slightly different energies so as to redistribute their energies to form new orbitals of equal energies and of identical shapes. The number of hybrid orbitals formed is equal to the number of atomic orbitals taking part in the hybridization. and energy and shapes of this hybrid orbital are always equivalent, and hybrid orbitals are more effective in forming the stable bonds compared to the pure orbitals, as in case of pure orbital the effective overlap is less, but in case of hybrid orbital the effective overlap is more. The hybrid orbitals are oriented in space in some preferred directions to have the stable arrangement with minimum repulsion, okay, among themselves. If we think about, if there is two hybrid orbital, they want to stay in a linear shape, okay. Why in a linear condition? Because here bond angle will be 180 degree, okay, and their repulsion will be minimum. If there is three, they try to remain in triangular shape because their bond angle will be 120 degree. So in this way, when there is four, there may be tetrahedral or square plan. In this way we will discuss. Now what are the important conditions for hybridization? Only the valence shell orbital will take part in the hybridization, that we have to keep in mind. An orbital participating in the hybridization should have comparable energies. Formation of electron is not an essential condition prior to hybridization. Now it is necessary that only the half field orbital participant, okay, it is not necessary that only half field orbital can participate in the hybridization. Completely field orbitals also can participate in hybridization. Next we will discuss one example so that you can understand. So if we think about the formation of methane, okay, then you can easily understand. Now first we will write the electronic configuration of carbon. Electronic configuration of carbon. Okay. Now what is the electronic configuration? 1s2 2s2 then 2p2. This is the ground state electronic configuration, the stable electronic configuration, that is the ground state electronic configuration. Then what will happen? In next step there will be absorption of energy as well as promotion of electron from 2s to 2p. Okay. So next there is absorption of energy. And one electron will promote from this 2s orbital to 2p orbital. This one is 2s, this one is 2px, 2py and 2pz. Okay. Now this is excited state, ES. Excited state of carbon. Next what will happen? According to this hybridization concept, okay, as all carbon hydrogen bond lengths are equal, okay, all are equivalent, so definitely this orbital will mix, one s orbital and 3p orbital, and there will be formation of sp3 hybridization. So here we will get 4 equivalent orbitals having one unpaired electron in each hybrid orbital. Okay. Now, so here the 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals, each containing one electron, are directed towards the 4 corners of the regular tetrahedron, making an angle 109 degree 28 minutes. If we draw the structure, then you can easily understand. So the hybrid orbital will be like this. And there will be like this. So here the bond angle will be 109 degree 28 minutes. Okay. And all bond angles are equal. So here the hybrid orbitals are oriented in such a position in space that there will be minimum repulsion. Okay. And the formation of this sp3 hybrid orbital by the combination of one s orbital and 3p orbital. Understand? Next we will discuss the formation of methane. So to this hybrid orbital, that we have seen after hybridization, there is 4 unpaired electron. Now 4 hydrogen, 1s electron will come and they will form sigma bond like this. With opposite spin. If we draw the orbital diagram, then you can easily understand that these are the 4 hybrid orbitals. These are the negative lobes, these are the positive symmetry. Okay. Now this hydrogen will overlap with s orbital. And the shape of the molecule will be tetrahedral. Now if we draw the bond line structure, angle is also here 109 degree 28 minute. That is a regular structure, okay? And we can show in this way that CHH, and this bond is the above the face and another is below the face. Now if we draw the structure, this is the tetrahedral shape, okay, and 4 corners of this tetrahedron are occupied by hydrogen atoms, okay. So in this way we can easily understand that why the carbon hydrogen bond lengths are equal in case of methane, all having the same or equivalent, okay, these hybrid orbitals are equivalent. So if we consider this sigma bond, all are sigma bond, single bond means sigma bond. So here this sigma bond is sp3s sigma bond. So here all hydrogens, that carbon and hydrogen bonds, okay, sp3s of s type of sigma bond. Next we will try to draw the orbital picture of ethane. In case of ethane also, both carbon atoms are sp3 hybridized. This one is also sp3 and this one is also sp3 hybridized. And the bond angle will be 109, okay, 109.28 minute, okay. So if we draw the structure, then you can easily understand. This one is the carbon, forming a sigma bond. These are the hydrogens. This is the orbital picture of ethane molecule. Okay, here the bond angle is 109.28 degree. Okay, and this sigma bond is what type of interaction? sp3 sigma bond, because both these carbon atoms are sp3 hybridized, and this one is the sp3s sigma bond. And all hydrogens, okay, all hydrogens are sp3s sigma bonds. So in this way we can easily understand how the sp3 hybridization occurs and how this sp3 hybridization explains the shape. Okay, these are also 3-dimensional. All sp3 hybridized carbon atoms are 3-dimensional. Okay, you can easily understand the shape of this molecule. Okay, with this hybridization as well as their bond angles. Next we will discuss the sp2 hybridization. When one s orbital and 2 p orbital of this valence shell of carbon atom okay, in the excited condition will overlap, and then they will redistribute their energies to form a three equivalent new orbitals of equal energy. They have been in the identical shape also. Then these are called sp2 hybrid orbitals. Okay. So again I am writing that carbon, the ground state electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, and 2p2. Now this is the ground state. Then after absorption of energy, one electron will promote from the valence shell of the 2s to 2p orbital. Now this is 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1. Now if there is mixing of only these one s orbital and 2p orbital, then there will be formation of sp2 hybrid orbital, and we will get the three equivalent energy orbital. These are the sp2 hybrid orbitals, and one pure pz orbital remains containing one lone pair. So these are the hybrid orbital, and here one pure orbital. During mixing of orbital, if the number of atomic orbital is 3 here, so number of hybrid orbital will be also same. There will be 3 hybrid orbital. Okay. Now if we draw the shape, then you can easily understand these 3 hybrid orbital will try to minimize their repulsion and stabilize their energy. So they will remain in the space, the maximum distance. So this is nothing but triangular shape, okay, planar triangular shape, and one p orbital, okay, will remain as a pure p orbital. So these 3 orbitals, okay, these are the hybrid orbitals. These are sp2 hybrid orbitals. If we draw the structure of ethylene, then you can easily understand. Here the bond angle between two sp3 hybrid orbital is 120 degree. Okay. So if we draw the structure of ethylene, here both carbon atom is sp2 hybridized, and in each carbon there is one pure p orbital containing one unpaired electron that will form sideway overlap and forming one sigma bond. So this pure p orbital, okay, or unhybridized pure p orbital, okay, will form pi bond here. So here if we draw the MO diagram, molecular orbital diagram, then you can easily understand. So 3 hybrid orbitals of this carbon, okay, will overlap with another sp2 carbon atom. Here also 3 hybrid orbitals are there. So in each case there one pure p orbital left containing one electron. So this pure p orbital will form pi bond. This one is pp pi bond, okay, and this one is sp2 sigma bond, and these hybrid orbital will overlap with the s orbital of hydrogen forming the ethylene molecule or ethene molecule. So here the bond angle between these two bonds, that will be 120 degree. Okay, so you have to keep in mind the shape of the molecule. Here you can say as both are sp2 hybridized, that will be planar. Okay, so ethylene molecule is planar shaped. Okay, now if we take another example like boron difluoride BF3. In case of BF3 molecule, if we write their electronic configuration, then you will able to see that outermost cell electronic configuration will be 2s2 and 2p, how much? 2p1. This is the ground state electronic configuration. Now in excited state, what will happen? This is the ground state. In excited state, one electron will go from 2s to 2p. Then will be 2p2. We write the electrons through this box diagram, then you can easily understand. So here one s orbital and 2p orbital containing one electron. Okay, that is the unpaired electron. Now these 1s and p will mix, will form sp2 hybrid orbital. Now in case of boron, there will be 3 sp3 hybrid sp2 hybrid orbitals. These sp2 hybrid orbitals will overlap with the p orbital of this fluorine, 2p orbital of fluorine. So it is overlapping with the 2p orbital of fluorine and forming 3 sigma bond. These are the fluorine 2p orbital, and these are sp3 hybrid orbital. Now if we draw the structure of boron difluoride, you can understand the structure. This is planar triangular shape, boron difluoride. Okay, and here the bond angle will be 120 degree. So this is also a planar molecule. Here boron atom, okay, has sp2 hybridization. sp2 hybridization. Okay. Next we will discuss another type of hybridization, that is sp hybridization. In case of sp hybridization, one s orbital will mix with another p orbital, and these sp orbitals, okay, will arrange in a linear way, okay, to minimize their repulsion. So if we write the excited state electronic configuration of carbon, then you can easily understand that is this one is 2s1, then 2p, 1 1 1. This is the excited state electronic configuration. So here 1s and 1p will mix, forming sp hybrid orbital. So these two hybrid orbital will arrange in a linear way. Okay. So the bond angle here will be 180 degree. Understand? Now these two orbitals will form pi bond. Okay, they will remain as pure p orbital. Actually, whenever we are considering this concept, it is not for atoms. It is definitely for molecule. So here, if we think about the formation of acetylene molecule, then we can easily understand that carbon, both carbon atom triple bond is there. Okay, so this one is sp hybridized. Both are sp hybridized. So what will be the molecular diagram in case of acetylene? So there, this sp hybrid orbital will overlap with hydrogen, and two pure p orbital okay, they will form 2 pi bond. Understand? Now this one is sp sigma bond, sp sigma bond, and this one is py pi bond, another is pz pi bond. So in this way there will be cylindrical electrical distribution of pi bond, okay, around this sigma axis of this acetylene molecule. Okay, so if we draw the electronic density around the acetylene, that will be looking like this one, cylindrical pi electron cloud. Okay. So what will be the shape of this molecule here? Definitely it will be a linear shape. Okay. If we think about the formation of BeF2 also, okay, and here bond angle definitely it will be 180 degree. In case of BeF2, if we consider the electronic configuration of beryllium, it will be 1s2, 2s1 and 2p1. So here in the excited state, whatever we are telling the excited state, one s electron will be promoted to 2p, and next step what will happen, this s and p orbital will mix and forming sp2 orbital. Okay, now BF2 also form a linear molecule. Here beryllium atom is also sp2 hybridized, sorry, sp hybridized. Okay, and here the bond angle will be 180 degree. So if you know the hybridization, then you can easily predict the shape as well as bond angle of a molecule. Okay, so in this way today we have discussed the hybridization concept of sp3, sp2 and sp. Okay, and next day we will discuss the mixing of these sp and d orbital, and they will form different types of hybridizations. So today up to this, next day we will discuss more from this chemical bond of this topic hybridizations. Thank you.